Welcome back to A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast. I'm your host, Cody Dupius. That is Sam Douglas. It is Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Green Bay Packers back on Sunday. Jordan Love with maybe the game of his career so far.
Gotta be.
It was really a dominant performance. They were down at halftime, but Jordan Love and the offense did not let that result carry through for the rest of the game. Final numbers here for Jordan Love is I kind of just want to quickly go through them, playing around with my computer, so give me 1 second. Oh, never mind, might have closed everything. If I can remember correctly, 29 for 37, 360 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Jordan Love. There was a span in that third quarter. He completed 20 passes in a row, a feat that not even Aaron Rodgers, the opposing quarterback, completed when he was Green Bay's quarterback. So tied a franchise record with Brett Favre. At the top here, where does this rank amongst Jordan Love performances, do you think, for you?
As soon as he said maybe the best game of his career, I completely agreed with you. You know, stats-wise, moment-wise, he was against Aaron Rodgers. What a moment. You know, Jordan Love probably never thought that this exact day would ever happen to him, you know, in his 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. It's like, what kind of reality are we living in now? I'm playing against Rodgers 5-6 years after he was even drafted in the first place to Lambeau. So what a moment for him, and what a rise to the occasion. I do have to put it second behind the Cowboys playoff game, but I think this is firmly the second best game of his career. The Cowboys game just launched this Packers team into a different stratosphere. We were supposed to be a rebuilding franchise, and then we kind of found out, wow, we're the youngest team in football, and we're only going up, and our quarterback is that guy. He can be that guy. We haven't always seen it, but that Cowboys game really lifted him, just like this Sunday really lifted him. We're not talking about a top 15 quarterback anymore who has the potential for a top 5 any given week. Jordan Love is a certified top 7, 8 quarterback. Yep. You can win because of him. If he doesn't have to be the quarterback that just doesn't throw interceptions anymore. Kind of like what you see Rodgers doing for Pittsburgh. You know, you get a good defense behind a quarterback and just don't turn the ball over. That can be one way of success. We saw the Vikings do that a lot last year, although Darnold was balling out. But Jordan Love, he can be a game wrecker. And Cody, man, if he keeps looking at Tucker Kraft as his number 1 option, dude, if he keeps looking at Tucker Kraft, that's also a guy top 3 tight end in the league, I think.
Yes. So I was actually in New England this past weekend, and I was watching the game on Sunday night amongst some Patriots fans. And that Tucker Kraft game, they brought up the name Rob Gronkowski a couple of times during that game. And I was like, yeah, kind of. I mean, what Gronkowski did in his time in the league, that's hard. But even just drawing comparisons at this point for Tucker Kraft, he's one of those game changers. And Christian Watson coming back, making a couple of really nice plays. Romeo Doubs is just Mr. Consistency. I do have one little question here. What is the biggest problem with this offense? I think it's obvious to me, but I want to know what your thoughts are. How do you get this thing to click a little bit more? Because I do see a little bit of some holes here.
So this is interesting. I have a really fun note down as something that I think that this offense could really use. Emmanuel Wilson can have a role with this team. The running game, Josh Jacobs himself hasn't been piling up the yards and yards per carry like we've kind of seen in the past. He's not slowing down as a man or as a player. We've just become a little bit predictable. So if Wilson, who's shown that he can be a good enough running back in this league, can get 10 carries a game and keep them guessing, keep a defense guessing. If he's in the game, you know, a lot of times your backup running back gets really good yards per carry because the defense is just dropping into coverage, but because they see, you know, the third down back on a 1st and 10 or something like that. But I think if Emmanuel Wilson's used a little bit more and we become a little less predictable with Josh Jacobs, that can open up a whole lot for us. It's just going to keep the defense on their toes a little bit, keep life good for Jordan Love. And I've got no problem. I've been on this horse since the middle of last season. Tucker Craft can stay getting the most targets, having the most yards, have the most touchdowns for this receiving core. Offense is fine. I think the one little tweak is I do want to see a little bit more Wilson going on. I think that just can bring us to a different level.
Yeah, and kind of to build off of that, Wilson has been incredible this year. And I listen to a lot of Packer podcasts, and I heard one thought kind of branching off of that, explaining that there's a chance and there's a world where Josh Jacobs is not a Green Bay Packer next year. Like that. And that's a deeper conversation. But
Hmm.
what Wilson has shown you at the value that Wilson's contract provides you, that there is that possibility. And I'm not saying that Josh Jacobs has slowed down this year. You've seen what he looks like when his offensive line is not playing great. And I think that's the case for a number of those guys out there. Rasheed Walker's not having a very good year, and that stinks for him. It's a contract year. The right guard position, Sean Ryan, Jordan Morgan. There's been a lot of inconsistency with both of those players. Elton Jenkins has had an up and down season so far as well. I want to see some more continuity there on that offensive line. In terms of pass protection, they've been great. I want to see
Yeah.
them be the road graders that Green Bay wants them to be. That's why they went out and they picked up Aaron Banks, who also has not played great
No.
this season so far. Like it's four of your five guys have been pretty inconsistent, and Zach Tom was out for a couple of games. So you have not had that continuity. You haven't had everybody playing together for a long period of time. Like you got to think, it's just been a couple of months of these guys actually working together as a full unit. Jenkins is in a position change. Right guard, you have some going back and forth between Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan. So I want to see that improve. I think when that team can, like that unit as a whole, with both Jacobs and Wilson, and possibly even Marshawn Lloyd in the future, when you get all of those guys working as a
Would
cohesive
love to
unit,
see
this
Marshawn
offense
Lloyd
becomes
take some
dangerous.
snaps. Would love to see Marshawn Lloyd take some snaps, Cody.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've even been able to think about him. I don't know where he's at with his injury process. I know I haven't heard him talked about in a long time. It's He's been very unlucky so far, and we've been unlucky in the fact that we haven't been able to see him because there's some extra juice with that toolbox that he has that is going to help this offense, and you just hope it can find its way to the field. But the offense, incredible. I do want to ask, are you concerned at all with the usage of Matthew Golden? Of course, there was that picture of him wide open where they could have thrown it to him and he could have gotten his first touchdown over the middle, and people are saying that they need to use him more. And he actually deleted his Instagram shortly after the game on Sunday too. Is there any concerns in that stratosphere?
Not new concerns. Yeah, I mean, you heard me. I've been very vocal. We didn't need a first round wide receiver. We just didn't need him. And especially with Christian Watson coming back, who I'm really, really excited about. He went through extensive rehab on his hamstring before tearing that ACL. So you hope Christian Watson can be healthy. We never needed another wide receiver. We just didn't. I got excited about the idea, and of course I'm gonna be a Matthew Golden fan. But it's not shocking to me that he's not getting a ton of looks because I think Tucker Kraft should get the looks, and Romeo Dobbs is a sure thing. And Jordan Love has built rep with a handful of these receivers that just aren't Matthew Golden. He's going to take a little bit of time to get into this offense. And even when he takes a little bit of time to get into this offense, he's going to be a 700-yard type of guy because that's just what this Packers offense does. And we're going to move on from guys like Malik Heath and Wicks. And, hopefully it'll be Reed, Dobbs, and Matthew Golden. But his trajectory, as soon as he got drafted to this Packers team, was never going to be 1,000-yard receiver. It was never going to be a 1,300-yard receiver. It was never going to be a dominant number one force. Now, we were in a situation where we didn't really need anything. We could have used a little bit of defensive line help. Maybe there was a plan there the whole time. Could have used some like cornerbacks. Packers took the best guy available. I stand on the business that I've been saying the whole time. We just didn't need him. Now, does he add an element to the offense? Am I excited? He's a playmaker. He's a first round talent. So he's going to have his moments. He might win us a game. It's not going to be every game. He's not going to be a 100 catch, 1,000-yard guy. It just was never going to be the plan for him.
So, and I'll kind of go back because I said early on too that this is kind of what to expect with him. The Matthew Golden that you draft is not the player that is going to help you and be a Pro Bowler this year. The Matthew Golden that you drafted and the reason you drafted him is because of those expiring contracts years down the road. Now, him being a first rounder, you get 5 years of team control under a rookie contract. That is forever in NFL land. And what we've seen from Golden, that this is a kid that has some of the strongest hands I've seen on a football field. The route running is great, the speed, the athleticism, it's all there. We can go back in time, what that be 14 years now, when Randall Cobb was a rookie. I think he only had 25 catches his
Hmm.
rookie year, the entire rookie season. And then that second year, he took a jump, 80 receptions. And you look at kind of how that receiver room was built. And I do have to be honest, there's a uber, uber amounts of talent on that 2011 team. That was probably the greatest receiving core of all time, like top to bottom. And Randall Cobb was probably your fifth guy. Right now, Matthew Golden is probably around your fourth or fifth when everybody is healthy.
Hmm.
And that's okay. I mean, it's where we needed to set the expectations for him. I think the ceiling here is very high for Golden, and it's not going to be hit this year, and that's okay. That was expected. They didn't draft him to be a superstar this year. They drafted him to ease him in, where next year you start to see a step. And then by year three, you're looking at a kid that could be your number one target. Now, Watson, he's got another year in his contract. Romeo Dobbs, his contract is going to be up in
Hmm.
the air, which I'm going to tell you, I hope that they at least can get him on for a couple more years. But it's going to be a little bit pricey. It's going to cost money to bring Romeo Dobbs back. But having that continual talent here with Matthew Golden, he's going to be that next step. And I expect for that usage to slowly increase. And this isn't going to be just a steady incline of usage with Matthew Golden. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. We've seen it week after week. You don't know who's going to be the guy who gets all the targets. Now, I think we can safely say that Tucker Kraft is going to be the guy that gets the most targets. But after that, it's going to be what we've seen the last 3 years where they're not feeding a single guy.
Hmm.
And that's okay. I think it is. I think just having talent all across your room, all across the board, it's going to help down the stretch. You just want to see Jordan get more reps with Golden in there as well, because all the other guys, he's been working with them for a couple of years now. So I'm not too concerned. I'm still excited for the player that Golden is. I'm not really going to uh, put any blame on Matt LaFleur here for a lack of targets. It's just the situation and what's provided, because every single week you can be like, why weren't they throwing it Romeo's way? He was wide open. Why didn't they get it to Jaden Reed? Why didn't they get it to Matthew Golden? Why didn't they get it to Christian Watson? Because there's all these guys that you got to work in and you got to keep fresh, and your rotation's going to be there. So not too worried. I'm still excited for Golden as a player. I think he's really good. He's going to be the guy that they lean on in the future, and it's just not now.
I mean, you said situations everything. Look at a guy like Emeka Ibuka, who's been having a phenomenal rookie year. Obviously, talent through the roof. Big fan of Ibuka. He started with the top two receivers on the team going down, with Godwin and Mike Evans not being available. What happens next? You get thrown into a position. Having a deep wide receiver room is not a bad thing at all. It is a very, very good thing, especially with the way that injuries go. We've already seen Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Dobbs all be out for extended amounts of time. So, knock on wood, hate to talk about injuries too much, but having a couple extra wide receivers, you don't want to find yourself in a position like we were in last year where Dontavian Wicks is your number one guy for a couple weeks on end.
It's like starting pitchers in a regular season.
Yeah.
You're going to need guys number 6 and 7. You're going to need your fourth and fifth receiver at times over the course of an NFL season, because guys get hurt. That's just the nature of the sport. So, yeah, love the depth, love where the offense is at. Of course, always room for improvement. But when you have Love looking as good as he did on Sunday, you start to get giddy. You start to get those aspirations, those feelings that this team is not going to be hindered with a guy like Love at quarterback. I saw memes that were like, wait till Jordan Love throws 20 interceptions this year. Through week 7, he's got 2. And I mean, knock on wood here, I didn't see a dummy throw last week. He threw the ball 37 times. Was there a dummy throw?
The toss up to Kraft was There was a toss up to Kraft, which was a back foot little lofter, which I'm fine. You put that towards Kraft, that's fine. But I don't think anybody had their heads turned, and Kraft ended up coming back and catching the ball. That's the one he got away with. But
Yep.
you know what? We're 20 straight completions. Jordan Love balled out. Showed Pittsburgh what's up. No
If
complaints
you're
here.
in the air to Tucker Craft, I don't think you can say dummy throw. I think you can
Fair.
say, oh crap, but I don't think it's a dummy throw. So seen him be a lot smarter with the ball in those very important situations. You saw it at the end of the game against Cincinnati where he could have thrown across his body over the middle, but he threw it out of bounds. I love to see that. You're seeing little developments here from Love. He's very smart. He's a very smart player, and you're seeing that development in all these stages. And it's
God, and he is unflappable, Cody. He is so chill. He's so relaxed. Sometimes I'm looking for like a little bit of juice out of the guy, and but that gets me excited for when we see it. I don't want him, max energy on just Sunday on a Sunday playing football. Wait till the playoffs, wait till late in the season, so that when that juice does come, it means something. But God, this guy, he is unfazed. He is not. We're used to Rodgers like kind of yelling at his teammates, keeping everybody together. Jordan Love sits back and he's got a heart rate of 5 on the sideline the whole time. That's something else that I'm gonna have to get used to because I want to see a little bit of energy. But they say unflappable quarterback's a good thing.
I don't know if he has that extra gear. I don't know if you're going to see it in the playoffs. I don't think it's there. Like it is calm, cool, collected. Doesn't matter what happened prior. I don't know. He's a guy that's going to be able to turn the page easy and not let something dwell. Where you see a lot of guys who get thrown into the fire, they really struggle with that. And that's not the case with Jordan. Jordan is just handling his business, and I am totally okay with it. It was kind of interesting to see Rodgers play on the other side. And I do have to say, I don't miss all the whining and moaning after any play that goes negative or like yelling at people or officials. And you saw enough of that from A-Rod on a Sunday. And I did say to myself, I don't miss that part of the game because it was very, very prevalent with Aaron Rodgers. All right. Now, what Sam has been waiting for, Milwaukee Bucks have started
Oh,
off
so
hot.
back.
Sam is so back, and this is your bread and butter here. So you and your furry friend over there, I'm gonna let you guys take it off here. What's what's the biggest, most important, most exciting thing that's happening with Milwaukee so far? 3-1 through 4 games.
So Giannis is a dog. He is averaging over 36 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, leading the league in field goals made per game, two-pointers attempted, two-pointers made, and he's doing it in 32 minutes. 32.8 minutes. He averaged 32 minutes once recently. I think it was 2022. Other than that, you got to go back to 2017 and 2018 when he was kept his season average. Now we're just 4 games into the season. And this is a team where Giannis is going to have to do more. We don't have a Damian Lillard anymore. We don't have even a Chris Middleton that you can just ISO and let him ball out. Giannis is going to have to be the point guard, and so it's a bigger load on his shoulders. They're taking his minutes down, and he's still upping all of his stats. Cody, I think this is the 12th year in a row that Giannis has consistently gotten better. Yeah, this guy is still getting better. He is dunking on the New York Knicks and yelling out, "This is my city. I freaking love it when it's tough." He is yelling that out to the Fiserv Forum. The ESPN is posting the next day, what could Giannis do with a good supporting cast? And man, it's just rich. We're right into it. Get into the supporting cast a little bit. Mentioned Ryan Rollins when he was still a two-way guy last year. He's averaging 30. He's the second most minutes per game on this Bucks team. Just scored 25 the other night. I'm 4 for 4 from three, 4 steals. He's leading the NBA in steals per game with 3.0 right now. Ryan Rollins, he's going to be knocking on the door of an all defensive team. AJ Green is an absolute sniper. Miles Turner's blocks and rebounding are everything it's been cracked up to be. And this Marla is really wanting to be on this podcast, so my cat's gonna say hi and then she's getting tossed. Dude, this Bucks team, I'm excited. We're gonna be a top 3 seed in the East. with the only way to make that Damian Lillard wave and stretch contract work is to get the right role players around Giannis at a good price. And then what's the issue? If you got the right guys at the right price, which the Bucks certainly do, you got Miles Turner, AJ Green, shooters everywhere. We have a very, very deep team. Bobby Portis is coming off the bench still. And KPJ came out and lit it up in his first game with the Bucks. Everybody's super excited about KPJ. He might have the second highest ceiling of anybody on the team. And now we've got Ryan Rounds, who's playing at all defense level, dropping 25, hitting 100% from three for a game. This team is loaded, Cody. The players on this team, if you look at the Bucks, when we thought we first had a chance with this iteration of the Milwaukee Bucks, as Giannis started getting really good, we were rolling out Greg Monroe, Eric Bledsoe, albeit a young Jabari Parker, a Thon Maker, who was a bit of a project, Chris Middleton, who showed some promise. And that was a full roster of a team. We weren't waving and stretching and $20 million is over here that we can't touch. You compare our team today to a team in 16, 17, 18, where we thought we had a chance. This team is so much better than them. Giannis is so much better than he ever was. Our role players are better than those teams. And we thought we had a chance with going against the Boston Celtics back then. Everybody who's sleeping on the Bucks is making a mistake. It's going to come down to the playoffs, and just getting a shot maker. But I tell you what, AJ Green, Ryan Rounds, KPJ, Miles Turner, man, these Bucks have a big show coming in. We might be a 50 plus win team this year.
Are you comfortable with Doc Rivers as your head coach? Because I know that was a conversation after the playoff fall on the face performance once again. Are you good with it? Do the players kind of overtake that for you?
Yes, for now. He's been I talked about the AJ Green contract forcing him into the lineup, which is a very good thing. As long as Doc doesn't mess it up and he just builds a system around Giannis, and we're not trying to have Dame and Giannis mesh. We have prime Giannis, letting prime Giannis be prime Giannis. Get the role players around him and let Giannis ball out. I think it's kind of hard to mess up. And I think Doc's really excited about it. Something other than seeing Ryan Rollins minutes per game jump up, which is very promising from Doc Rivers and the coaching staff, is seeing Kyle Kuzma's minutes come down. This is the lowest minutes per game that Kyle Kuzma has ever had in his career, including his rookie year. And it's showing there's a little bit more effort on the court from him. You think about some of the sunk cost stuff, like is Kuzma a waste of a contract? Yeah, he's probably the worst contract we have. But so what? Work with him the way you can. He's been playing pretty solid defense. He had a couple awesome possessions defending Karl Anthony Towns, the New York Knicks all-star center, a couple nights ago. If he can lock into defense, average 6, 7 points a game, that means he's not shooting it like crazy. Get your 6 boards a game and 2 assists, 6, 6, and 2 from Kuz. I'm really happy with that. That means he's not forcing anything. That means he's focusing on defense and being a role player that this Bucks needs him to be. Do you think Giannis is someone who goes soft in practice?
I wouldn't imagine that soft is in Giannis's vocabulary.
Completely agreed. In practice, the backup 4 is Kyle Kuzma. All summer long, he's been guarding Giannis in practice. That's got to be that. So if you're guarding Giannis all summer long, all training camp long, every day you're bodying up Giannis, who's not taking it lightly in practice, that's going to make you a better defender. That's something that Kyle Kuzma has never had in his life because he was thrown into Washington where he was just like a take every shot kind of guy. Obviously, his percentages are going to be low. Now you get Giannis body checking you every single day in, day out. You're able to go against the Karl Anthony Towns. You're able to be that 6'11" forward that can be a 3, a 4, play some minutes out of 5 and just stretch the offense and pile things first. Marquez Valdes-Scantling wasn't a phenomenal receiver, had his role. Just stretch the field, do something different, give us a different look. Mm-hmm. We don't want to go there, but give us a different look so that the other teams have to play a little bit smart ball around us. And if Kuz can lock in defensively like he has been, it's just another. Now we're up to 9 deep players on this roster.
Yeah, no, it's I'm always gonna proceed with caution when it comes to the first couple weeks of an NBA season. course, things. What a 2-8 start last year, I believe.
Yes.
Like you kind of just you tread lightly with these things, but what we're seeing from Giannis is just stupid. What 33 minutes a game,
Under
and he's
33 minutes a game,
yes under 33
36.
minutes a game. He's top five in the league in scoring, and I believe everybody else in there, he is number one in scoring.
Number two, I believe Shea is just ahead of him. Shea had like a 50 and another high 40s game.
Okay,
He's averaging
okay,
36.3 minutes per game, which is points per game, which is just absurd.
yes, yep.
To the tune of 2.5 fouls. So he's staying on the floor, 14 rebounds. His 3-point percentage is 57%. He's taken a little bit less. But Cody, it's the 12th year in a row that Giannis comes back better than he did before.
It's scary, man. It's really scary, and I still have people that ask me, "You think Giannis wants out?" And I, it's just a fun conversation to have at this point. Like we've never actually heard anything from Giannis Antetokounmpo himself to believe that he would even consider it. But no,
So
it's
they did you listen to the post game presser after the Knicks game?
I did not
He had
actually.
a Giannis had a really good post game presser after the Knicks game, went on probably 15, 20 minutes. They asked him a handful of questions. Because and a few of them tried to allude to, hey, did this game, there's a lot of rumors about you going to the Knicks this offseason, that the Knicks were the only team you'd be interested in. And he laughs and he just shakes his head. He's like, I don't remember that. Like, I don't really pay attention to that. Even if I wanted to pay attention to that, I got 4 kids in school to get to, and I don't have time to pay attention to that, even if I wanted to pay attention to that. Um, Next question comes in. So you're saying there wasn't anything extra to this game because of the trade rumors? And he goes, oh, there was a lot extra to this game. And he takes a moment, and for a minute, I'm thinking, oh, is he going to address it? He goes, there's a lot extra to this game. They swept us last year. This team beat us every single time they played us. That's what Giannis is thinking about. He's
Oh,
not thinking about trade rumors and moving around. He's thinking about these guys swept us last year. They're showing up in my house. I'm going to dunk all over them. And he's going to yell, "This is my city" afterwards. It's hilarious. And he's dominating the NBA right now, and he's not even in the top 3 MVP ballots. He's bringing what was supposed to be a bad Bucks team to a top team in the East. And man, I hope he hears some of it, and I hope it gets under his skin. I like an angry Giannis on my team. He can average 36 for a whole season, Cody. We might see some awesome numbers from him this year.
yeah, that's the thing. You're watching Giannis play like rent is due, and that is
Yeah.
that is a scary, scary sight to see. And you've actually seen a lot of performances early on this year in the NBA. I think more so than others. Like I'm seeing some high effort here, and like not just Giannis, but like other guys on the team. Like you said, Kyle Kuzma looks like he cares out there. It's special stuff, and I there's this part of me that kind of wonders, and I don't want to have this as an indictment on Damian Lillard. Is this team in a better place now than they were when he was on this roster? And whatever your answer is, why?
It's hard to say from a personnel standpoint when you get to playoff basketball, and I'll still stand on this. If we had a whole healthy team, this Bucks team could have gone on a run both of the past 2 years, because in the playoffs the game slows down. You need a little bit more half court offense. You need a guy to just hit a shot, and Damian Lillard is one of the best players ever. So I don't want to take anything away from Damian Lillard. That being said, decisiveness and knowing who you are is a key to success in this league. We talked about it last year when the finals were going on. The Pacers, they were in the finals. They knew who they were. They didn't have game-changing names across the board. They had a style that they were committed to, and they knew what they were doing. The Oklahoma City Thunder had a defensive style. They're going to throw 10 dogs at you defensively, and Shea's going to get to the line as much as possible. When you have a vision, when you have a process, and you're not second guessing, you're not trying to figure out what the offense is going to be or what the defense is going to be, there's a lot easier path to success. Decisiveness, one way or another, provides clarity in life. If you ever questioning something in life, make a decision. You'll have clarity once you make a decision on something. We made a decision on Dame, and that gave this Bucks team a lot of clarity going forwards. And man, So yes, regular season wise, we are in a better position than we were with Damian Lillard.
Is Giannis better without Damian Lillard?
He's better this year than he was last year because that's what he works on. Um,
Okay.
Two-man game. We've got young guys. 2 years ago, even last year, we had a very old team. You look at this team right now, and we're rolling out Ryan Rollins, KPJ, Gary Trent, Kuz, Miles Turner. Giannis finally has a transition basketball team to play with. That was impossible with Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez. You know how much I love both of those guys, but it's just a different style. We're almost touching that Pacers territory where we can run. And that's so exciting. We don't have to throw Andre Jackson Jr., who's a negative offensive, player, just to have a little bit of athleticism on the court anymore. We have young, fast players, and that is the transformation from the Bucks last year kind of very quietly moved into this young, fast team. And that's just so exciting. And I love Brooke Lopez, but I needed to see it to believe it. But Miles Turner is a big upgrade at center.
Yes, he is. And the way he works with Giannis, grabbing the rebounds defensively as well, which I think he's averaging 2.5 blocks a game right now, which is bananas. So see if that continues. And I'm excited for it. Of course, I'm staying a little bit cautious about these results right away. I mean, they have a loss on their record, but
It's
it
still a
looks
good
like a
thing,
team.
though. I mean, it's
Yes.
still a good thing. You want to be stacking wins. Every game counts as one. We started last year 2-8, and we picked it up, got it together. But the games at the beginning of the season mattered. I mean, look at the Brewers this year. It's even a longer season, and we were talking about what if we just didn't drop those four in the beginning of the year? Like every single game matters. It's really
Eh.
good.
Those ones really didn't matter. That mattered. Those, those ones didn't matter at all. I mean, they still won more games than anybody else in baseball. But yes, there is a point to it. I mean, you can say it matters, but there's a reason why load management has become more and more prevalent in the NBA, and that's because you can be an 8 seed and just be healthy in the playoffs and
Yeah.
go all the way. So it's not practice, but it's closer to practice, I think, than it is to the NBA finals, like early season. And that's kind of just the way you need to take it. What you're doing here is you're looking, seeing what you have. How does this team click? How can you improve? And that brings me to my first cheese grater question. What do you want to see more on for the Milwaukee Bucks?
Kind of set it transition. Keep running and gunning and more possessions. I think if Giannis is going to be on the floor for less minutes, getting the most out of him during those minutes is going to be really good for him. So he's going to get his assists up. He's going to get a board and have two guys sprinting already. If we pull the ball back out, that's totally fine. But transition's always going to, we got shooters, and Miles Turner is young and athletic enough to be trailing to jam on someone. Giannis, can maybe take that one off. He's the outlet passer, or he could be running up, and he's the most dangerous man in transition. And now he's got a team of transition players around him. So the more this Bucks team is running, I'm loving it.
Awesome.
Um, you mentioned the 2011 Packers wide receiving core earlier.
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, we won the Super Bowl. We have 5 wide receivers listed on that roster. Ready, go.
Jennings, Nelson, Jones. Um, it's way easier. I had this like the back of my hand before.
Two more.
Uh, I know. Jennings, Nelson, 'cause Nelson was your two. Jones was like the worst one on the roster, if I remember correctly. Cobb wasn't there yet. He got drafted in 2011. Donald Driver was
Thank
still
you.
on that team.
Yep. One more.
And
He
I
was the
think
number
I,
5 guy. He wasn't targeted much.
yeah, I'm just gonna wave the flag here.
Brett Swain, shout out, Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, I wasn't getting there. Yeah, I was nowhere close there. Okay. Uh, Here I'm going off the top of my head for my
Yeah,
graders today. Do you want Luke Fickell to be your Wisconsin Badgers head coach next year?
I don't care.
Okay.
um, no, there's deep-rooted issues with this Wisconsin Badgers program. He mentioned it himself. in an interview recently, saying there needs to be more like financials were brought up in a presser, and you kind of don't usually hear that, but it was very forward. I don't remember if it was Fickle or a different part of the staff, but they said there's changes coming, and it starts with financial backing with this team. So I look forward to a lot of changes being happening. Sometimes having the same head coach while a lot of changes are going on can be beneficial. Sometimes you got to clean house. So I want to see changes happen. They need to happen. This is not Badgers football that we're seeing right now. I believe they'll happen. They'll find the money. They'll do the upgrades. But we're not going to be a playoff team next year. So I don't really care who the coach is. But I look forward to seeing a lot of house getting cleaned.
That was a McIntosh quote, by the way. Chris McIntosh, the athletic director, said that they are
Yeah.
going to put more resources into the football program. So we'll see how that happens. I don't know. Big Cat from Barstool. It sounds like he's trying to get all the Wisconsin billionaires. Apparently, the guy who founded Timu is a Wisconsin alum. So we're trying to get him on the NIL train. But yeah,
We
I'm
need
with
it.
you. I mean, you're in a point where Fickle's coaching still with Paul Chris guys and transfers and trying to throw a team together. And you're seeing some of the talent from these young kids that he actually recruited. Mason Posa is a monster at middle linebacker, 13 tackles last week. And the other defensive player, I can't remember his name, and I'm going to look stupid years down the road, I think, because he's got a couple of guys that they're playing now that are true freshmen that I think are going to be really good players. And it's just giving him more opportunity. They don't have the resources. They don't have the superstar players. They don't have the NIL money. Fickle hasn't really blown anybody away with the things that have gone right, but so many things have gone wrong. I think you
Yeah.
got to take a good chunk of the blame away from him.
Backup quarterbacks for the past, what is
Yeah.
it, 3 years now? That's not a recipe for
Yep.
success. There are six Packers numbers that are retired. You
Well,
know,
12, 4.
12 is not retired
Oh, sorry. Uh,
yet.
yeah, it will be. Uh, this is a good one. I 33 is retired. I can't remember who it is.
33 is not retired, but
No,
three is.
3 is. That's not Curly, is it?
Curly's
No.
not retired.
What was Hudson? Was he number 11? No, no, that's not retired. Hudson is retired. I don't remember what his number was. What's his number?
14. 14. You're knocking on
14.
the door with 11. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't getting there. Is 11 retired? Because Jarrett Boykin wore number 11. Yeah, I didn't think so. Reggie White, 92.
Of course. Yep. So you said four, you said 92 and 14. We got three more. Three is one of them, but we don't know who it is.
66 is
Yep.
Mitchkey.
Dang right.
Paul Hornig. Here, I got his bobblehead. 5. Right?
Not retired.
No, not retired. Okay. I give up now.
Bart Starr, 15,
Oh, golly.
is retired. And the last one, number 3, is Tony Canedo. Canedo played from.
Anadeo.
Yeah, there we go.
Anadeo.
That's the
Yes. Awesome. That was fun. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Packers play the Panthers, and World Series is going on. We'll see what happens. We'll talk all about it next week when we're back with another edition of A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin Sports Podcast.